Welcome to So That Reminds Me, Reminder Publishing's bi-weekly podcast discussing Western Mass news. My name is Dennis Hackett.
And I'm Tyler Garnett.
I'll be your host for today's episode.
On this week's podcast, we are sitting down with Monte Belmonte to talk all about the March for the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts.
So yeah, Tyler, obviously we're talking about the food bank this week in Monte's March. Kind of not perfect timing because it's obviously an unfortunate situation with all the SNAP benefit freezes, but it's obviously a good topic to talk about.
Oh yeah, this like you said, it's not perfect timing because this is an unfortunate situation for many who benefit from the SNAP benefits. But you know, I'm looking forward to talk to him about this event that he's been doing. This is the 16th annual event, and I'm sure that there's going to be more of an importance this year than any to raise the money to be able to help the people who need assistance.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to a good interview with Monte today. But Tyler, how have things been going? I feel like it's been a while since you and I have been on the mic alone like this.
Yeah, it has been a while. Things are going good. The calendar has turned to November. We got our extra hour of sleep. Halloween just passed, a holiday that I do enjoy. Me and my fiance, we dressed up as Men in Black this year.
Nice.
Yeah, we went out with some of our friends in Dorchester, which is kind of right outside Boston, this nice bar, McGonagall's. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. I enjoyed it, so it was obviously a big Halloween-themed party. They had some live music and stuff, so we had a good time with that. And, now it's just about to be the holiday season, so it gets pretty crazy. Yeah,
I know. It's crazy how fast time is flying. I didn't celebrate Halloween this past weekend, but a couple weekends ago I did. Ryan, that we work with, had a little get-together with a couple of people, so I went to that, and I dressed up as Charizard, so that was fun.
That's awesome. That's a great one.
It was the only double XL costume they had in Spirit of Halloween, so
that's perfect.
That was the one that I went with. And then this past weekend, I just didn't really do that much. So
and obviously, as of recording, yesterday was Election Day, so we're kind of sifting through, seeing all the unofficial results come out. Obviously, all the listeners can see all the coverage on our website and in our papers, but that was something that was kind of, I feel like, taking up a lot of the reporters and stuff's time for the last couple of weeks. So now we move on to some other things and see the, I don't want to say fallout, or, doesn't seem like the right way, but what happens going forward in the future. Yeah,
there's definitely a lot of shakeups in Springfield. There was some pretty big shifts, I would say, with not necessarily like people losing. In some cases, there were incumbents that were knocked out, but with how close every race was, it feels like most of the candidates were within like 100 votes. So that was something to see.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're still kind of sifting through everything. Like we said, this is the day after the election. Yeah. So as official results and everything come in, we're keeping an eye on that, and obviously keep an eye on the reminder.com for anything more on that. But speaking of fall, I can't believe how quickly it changed from like peak fall to very much cold November fall.
Yeah.
Like, because we obviously had all that rain and wind the last few days. So like all the leaves are gone. So now it's just kind of dreary November already.
Yeah. I quickly shifted from just a light jacket to a puffer jacket these last couple mornings on my commute into work. It definitely turned very quick.
Yeah. And then thing that killed me, I went to Dunkin' Saturday, November 1st, got a hot coffee. It's a Christmas cup.
Well, yeah.
And I was just like, I cannot believe it's already flying.
I know Starbucks, they switched to their holiday cups very early. I think it was August 22nd was when they switched to their fall stuff.
I remember seeing that,
because I think I was there day one as soon as their fall stuff came out, and I believe I looked up and their Christmas stuff, I think it comes out, honestly, might be the 6th. So as this drops yesterday, which maybe I'll be having my Christmas drinks.
Yeah. Jeez.
I know. How time flies, really.
Crazy year. All right. Well, before we're going to jump into our conversation with Monte, we're going to take a quick break.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and you can bring joy to a child's life with just one small act of kindness. The Salvation Army's Toy for Joy campaign is in full swing, and we are asking you to help make a difference. Your monetary donation will help provide thousands of Western Mass children with a toy and a book, filling their holiday season with joy and imagination. At Toy for Joy, we believe every child deserves to experience the magic of the holidays. Your support can help make this wish a reality. Visit give.salvationarmy.org Toy for Joy today and give the gift of joy. Together, we can make this holiday season brighter for every child. Toy for Joy is a partnership between the Salvation Army, Reminder Publishing, and the Republican.
All right, we're here with Monte Belmonte. Monte, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So I guess to get started, what can you tell us about the March for the Food Bank?
Well, it's an event that this is the 16th time we've done it. It started out as a crazy idea, ridiculous publicity stunt, radio fundraiser, but with good intent. You know what I mean? Sometimes radio shtick can be all about like the bottom line and fabulous prizes and giveaways. But I started it after I'd done another ridiculous publicity stunt fundraiser for another great organization called the Cancer Connection based in Florence, where I would camp out in the cold weather on the old courthouse lawn of downtown Northampton. And the shtick was I wasn't going to leave until we hit like X amount of dollars. So the first goal of that was to make $5,000. People loved it. Eventually people started camping out with me over the years, and that event grew and grew and grew to the point where we were raising over $100,000 at each event for the Cancer Connection. We had started doing a food drive like so many people and so many radio stations and media organizations do outside Whole Foods in Hadley, collecting food for the food bank. And I think maybe because the food bank saw the success of the Cancer Connection campout and just because of the economics of the way things work at the food bank, they said, you know, we can actually do a lot more good if we do a fund drive rather than a food drive. Because if you go to Whole Foods and spend $3 on a can of pinto beans, that's great. We'll take that and we'll give it to people who need it. But if we take those $3, we can buy a whole pallet of scratch and dent pinto beans that fell off of a truck and have the warehouse to put it. So I was convinced that a fund drive was a good idea. And we had a brainstorming session that actually included Megan Rothschild, who's probably a name that you know.
She went to high school with our executive editor.
She's everywhere. As well as Megan Pete, two Megans. Megan Pete now works at Wayfinders. And one of them said, what if you took a shopping cart and pushed it door to door in downtown Northampton to all the businesses on Main Street and raised some money for the food bank? And I said, what if I took a shopping cart and pushed it from Northampton to Greenfield? And that was when the light bulb went off. And we knew we had a fun, crazy idea a la the Cancer Connection campout that would probably be successful. And the same thing, we tried to raise $10,000 that first year. And now it has, in year 16, the goal is to raise $650,000.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of exponential growth beyond our wildest imaginations.
Wow. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was last year $500,000?
The goal. So what happened was 2020 rolls around and the pandemic hits. Lots of people start to realize I'm one paycheck away from having to rely on the food bank myself. So the people that didn't have their jobs cut or have their lives uprooted or sadly have somebody pass away in their life because of COVID felt extra generous. And in 2020, the goal was to raise around $300,000. But because people kind of understood, maybe for the first time in their lives, how close they were to hunger, we raised over $600,000 that year, and it blew all of our minds. So since then, we've always raised over $500,000, and we've kept the goal at $500,000 since 2020. And then this year, the food bank said, we've gone over $600,000 every year since 2020. What if we just make the goal a little higher? So, and I always say it's a goal. It's not a mandate. It's just one way to incentivize people to like really rally behind a good cause.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, you've talked about how this event has evolved over the 16 years. And, you know, now it's a 43-mile walk across 3 different counties. You know,
actually 4 this year.
4, yes.
We're incorporating the Berkshires for the first time ever.
We did have a question about that at the end. But with the, you know, march across the different counties, what really drives you to keep this event going and also being able to walk that much? I know you have supporters along the way. But...
It's so funny because people do really latch on to the shtick of the walking. And it's a lot. It is a grueling walk. And people that I know that are very fit do it. And they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe like you can do that. I think I'm just high on adrenaline the whole time. And that seems to me almost the easiest part of it all. But I think what really keeps me going is the more I learn about the root causes of hunger, the more that I learn about how this is a solvable issue. And that we can band together as a community and petition those in government to help even more to end this problem. We almost ended it in the 70s. It really is what drives me. And there was a time where we used to just walk 26 miles from Northampton to Greenfield, which was basically the listening range of 93.9 The River, where this event was born. But the more I learned about hunger, the more I realized Hampden County is feeling the most impacts, maybe not percentage-wise, but certainly the most people, and that a lot of it is zip code driven and racially stratified. And I wanted to say I can literally walk between Mason Square, a neighborhood in Springfield that has more human beings living in it than the entire city of Northampton, to Northampton in one day. Northampton has a Big Y, a Stop and Shop, a Co-op, a State Street, a Cooper's. Like the list of supermarkets goes on and on. Yeah. Mason Square, more people, 0 supermarkets at the time. Oh, wow. And it's at the beginning of Gardening the Community and other great organizations that have done a lot of great work in that neighborhood. I wanted to help connect those dots literally by walking from one dot on a map to another dot on a map.
That's awesome.
And so continuing to hear those stories is what continues to keep me going on it.
Awesome. And then I guess how many people kind of go into the planning each year, and like what are some of the bigger partnerships that make this happen?
Well, the food bank, there was a time where I was literally as a morning show radio host kind of organizing pretty much all of everything about it. Like people would call the radio station to make the contributions. We were doing all that. And I'm really good friends with the folks who created the hot chocolate run for Safe Passage in Northampton, which is like a week after the food bank march. And they mentored me to say, you know what you need to do? You need to get the food bank more involved in the orchestration of this event, which was a huge load off of me as a radio host. So now there are at least like 3 prime movers and shakers at the food bank that are kind of working on this, not quite all year long, but pretty much all year long. So we organize it with those folks, and the food bank takes now the brunt of the administrative efforts of putting this on because they get 100% of the benefit of what's happening. But, there's literally thousands of individuals that make contributions over the course of the event. And then there are sometimes people that make a $5 contribution, and the New York Times bestselling author and illustrator Mo Willems will make like a $40,000 contribution. So it's those big ends of the spectrums. There's also lots of businesses that participate and make a contribution as a business. So it really is a big tent kind of ideology to make it all happen.
And we'll be right back after a few more short messages.
We get it. You're busy, but you want to be connected to your local community. If you're not reading The Reminder, Western Mass's free weekly newspaper, you're missing out on the heartbeat of your town. Stay in the loop with all the latest buzz, from local stories to community updates and exciting events. It's all in The Reminder. Just log on to thereminder.com and dive into the hometown news you love. To subscribe to receive The Reminder at your home, call 413-788-1316. Don't miss a beat. Your town, your stories, your community for over 60 years. The Reminder. We are hometown news.
Every month, Reminder Publishing's Go Local magazine features the best Western Mass and Northern Connecticut businesses. With articles on new storefronts, coffee shops, restaurants, and more, Go Local magazine is your resource to find the best businesses to frequent in the area. Go Local also features original recipes, how-to pages on festive crafts, a listing of places to go, and experiences to enjoy over the course of the month, and so much more. Pick up Go Local magazine at hundreds of businesses, banks, gas stations, and restaurants all over Western Mass and Northern Connecticut. Or check out Go Local magazine at thereminder.com.
And how does it feel to have the support of residents in addition to state and local officials throughout the march?
I love that the state and local officials and federal officials, frankly, because, U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern does the whole 43 miles. Congressman Richie Neal shows up usually at some point or another. Former Congressman Joe Kennedy always shows up. It really goes to illustrate how it is a both-and scenario to end hunger, where we need a public-private partnership to do this. And I think people are seeing this now with the how SNAP did not come out, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly food stamps, as it was supposed to because of the government shutdown on November 1st. Everyone realized, whoa, 42 million people in America may not know where their next meal is coming from, and we cannot food bank our way out of that problem. So we need to support the local food banks and the local food pantries, and we also need to come up with a statewide and a federal-wide way of dealing with this. For every one meal the food bank provides, SNAP provides 9 meals. So when SNAP does not go out, the food bank of Western Mass can't fill that gap.
Sure, yeah.
So that is why it's great to have representation from both individuals, grassroots folks, just interested people in our neighborhood to elected officials. And virtually everyone in the Beacon Hill delegation and in our federal delegation. Sometimes Senator Markey has been on the march before. The governor, Healy, has been on the march before. So it's wild. I would never have imagined it when it was just me in a shopping cart and a dude in a 93.9 The River van waving a flashlight so I didn't get hit by a car, 16 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess you kind of mentioned this with the SNAP payments not going out. Like, how do you think that affect, like, how much more important do you think this event is this year? Because there are going to be even more people that wouldn't, like, obviously there's people that are getting meals from the food bank, but is there even more uncertainty with those people? And how do you think helping them is going to be done through this year?
I think, people often feel powerless when they hear something like the government is shut down or SNAP isn't going to go out, that 42 million people aren't going to receive those benefits. And then they say, well, then what can I do? So I think that makes them want to participate more. I think it's what happened with, as I mentioned before, with COVID, where they're like, what do we do? How do we solve this problem? Everything's shut down. I still have money coming in. I'm feeling particularly generous, and they give that much more. I never let myself look to see how donations are going in advance or anything like that. I just wait till somebody tells me a number at the very end. But I am already sensing from the rhetoric that's surrounding the planning of the march that lots of people have signed up to participate. Awesome. Lots of donations have come in, and I think people are getting it more so than most years because of the government shutdown.
That's great.
That is great to hear. And what are some things that are new this year with the march?
The new thing, the biggest new thing is the Berkshire Mini-March.
Yes.
Because the Food Bank of Western Mass does cover all 4 counties of Western Mass. And while it is possible to draw a map to, not easily, but not so difficultly, walk from Hampden County to Hampshire County to Franklin County, there is no good way to draw that next line to Berkshire County. Gotcha. Whether you want to go from Berkshire to Hampden, not an easy line to make. Whether you want to go from Franklin to Berkshire, that's like an hour in a car, so a long time. It's another 40 miles at least. So in 2020, we had planned on doing a mini march from Williams College in Williamstown to Massmoka in North Adams. But COVID scrapped that idea. We had to really scale down the number of people involved in the march itself in 2020, despite the fact that people remotely participated mightily. So this year, especially because my new radio show on NEPM, The Fabulous 413, covers more range than the 93.9 The River radio station did, we have a greater relationship with Berkshire County. And Pittsfield is one of the biggest places that the food bank sends food to. So in that 3-mile walk right through downtown Pittsfield, I think we're hitting 3 or 4 food pantries in a very short stretch. That kind of illustrates how great the need is there. So that's the biggest thing. And then people always ask about the costumes. So I don't know if that's one of your questions or not.
Sure is. It seems like you're reading on our computers right now.
So there's always a different costume every year.
Yeah.
And that was the first year I did it, I was like, dude, I don't even know if I can walk 26 miles because that's how long it was at the beginning. So I wore athletic gear.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then as time progressed, I have a penchant for the dramatic. And so then there were people that marched with me that were dressed in full knight's armor and riding on horseback. And so then they dressed me in some of their cloaks, Renaissance fair style. And I thought, this is fun. So then that began the idea of I'm going to start dressing up weird.
Yeah.
So it's been all sorts of things over the years. And now, instead of just going on Amazon and buying a costume and having it shipped to my house, in Turner's Falls, where I live, there is Swanson's Fabrics, which takes reclaimed fabric and is trying to encourage people how to use fabric that is still good instead of just fast fashion, throw it away, get made in a sweatshop somewhere in the East, to work on their own clothing like we used to. And so they have been making my costumes now since 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So last year they dressed me up as both of the main witches from Wicked, Glinda on day 1 and Elphaba on day 2.
Yep.
This year, because there have also been dramatic cuts to public broadcasting, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which was seminal to me being the me that I am, having totally been disbanded. We're going to dress up as some of the icons of public television. So me and my right-hand man who pushed the cart with me, Sean Barry, who runs Four Seasons Wine and Liquors in Hadley, who literally got involved because I was getting lost in the early days of the march trying to push the shopping cart through Like you can't push a shopping cart on the on-ramps that you can take your car on around 116 in UMass.
Yeah.
And I was learning this the hard way. He comes with me every year. We're going to be Bert and Ernie.
That's awesome.
From Sesame Street on day one. I'm going to be Ernie because I'm shorter. And on day 2, he hasn't revealed to me who he's going to be yet, but I am going to be Mr. Rogers, who is one of my icons. And I don't know if you know this, but if you ever watched Mr. Rogers, when he would take off his suit jacket and put on a sweater, all of the sweaters in Mr. Rogers' closet were knit by his mom.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
did not know that
So folks from Swanson's Fabrics are taking wool that was grown by a local sheep farmer and dyed by a sheep farmer.
Wow.
Spinning it, and it is being hand knit by Northampton Wools, folks at Swanson's Fabrics, and the community is getting together to like knit this sweater a la Mr. Rogers' mom, which kind of makes me want to cry a little bit. I almost did saying that out of my mouth. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a nice touch. Right before you walked in, me and Dennis actually watched the video that was posted on the Food March, your little play on the theme song for the March this year
was a lot
great
of fun.
touch. Yeah.
Shout out to Tom Poplardo and the Food Bank for helping create that.
Phoenix
Rios, who helped write that song with me.
It was great.
Yeah, that was his idea, so that's great.
And then I guess we kind of mentioned the route a little bit. What does it kind of look like each day?
I mean, the route is pretty much the same as it's always been. We're not changing that too much except for the Berkshire Mini-March. But we start in Mason Square. We kind of come up State Street in Springfield. We go up Main Street. We keep going until we get into Chicopee. We hit a couple of food pantries on the way in Chicopee. We keep going over the Willimantic Bridge into Holyoke. We hit a couple more food pantries. So people get to see in action what it is they're raising money for. Yeah. Food Bank is a warehouse, but 199 food pantries are where the food actually meets the person's shopping baskets and their tables. So it's great to go and see some of those. So then we go through Holyoke, we go up Northampton Road, through East Hampton for about half a mile, and then into downtown Northampton and land at 93.9 The River where the event was born. Then we leave there the next morning at 6 a.m., or we go right around the corner to Congressman McGovern's office, which happens to be right there. Go over the Coolidge Bridge into Hadley, kind of veer off at the Home Depot there to get away from some of the more dangerous traffic on Route 9. Go up through downtown Amherst, past Amherst Cinema and the library, through UMass campus, up through 116 in Sunderland, past Sugarloaf, lunch at Berkshire Brewing Company, and then it's the home stretch there, stopping at Deerfield Academy, and then up to Greenfield and Bank Row.
Nice. And if anyone joins along the march, do they have to march the whole time, or can they just do?
You can do some. You can do all. You can. We like to say virtually march with us, which may just be the food bank literally puts a tracker in the shopping cart that you can see where I am at any given time.
Nice.
And donating, we consider you a marcher if you make any contribution at all. But some people are really like, I just want to see if I can do this. Feat of daring do, and walk 17 miles or 26 miles. So. And we take them. We love them too. And the best part is like a school group will show up on the common in downtown Amherst with like 100 kids carrying signs. And I go and speak in a lot of schools about food insecurity and hunger. And a lot of these people are incorporating that into their classrooms.
Nice.
So it's not just like a one-time give a donation. That guy's dressed like Elvis. Weird.
Yeah.
It's they're learning a little bit more about it. And then participating in it, and that's really the goal. I mean, it's a solvable issue. I could tell you 5 things to do, and hunger would be solved in America right now. You know what I mean? And pretty much everybody knows that. But we, as Congressman McGovern likes to say, we lack the political will to do it, and we really are lacking it right now.
Yeah.
And with the next budget that will come in my opinion, a kind of nefarious way after the midterm elections, that is when the big cuts to SNAP are going to come after the elections of next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I guess kind of going off of that, what are the best ways for people to get involved and donate? Like, say, can somebody just donate? Do they not have to walk or anything?
Absolutely. Yeah. There are a bunch of teams that if you go to marchforthefoodbank.org or go right to foodbankwma.org, it'll send you a link there. And you can see, like so many other fundraisers, there's like a competition of how much money can be raised. And I stay out of those weeds too.
Yeah. Sure,
but people love it, and they think it's so much fun, and that's great. So you can find somebody that you might know that's marching as part of a team. You can find us on the road and hand us a check or cash. And, I have a little lockbox on my shopping cart and put it on there and hand it right over to the food bank.
Nice.
You can call. There will be a phone number to call on the day of, radiothon style. So, and then, it's all going to the same place. Mm-hmm. So if you're moved to donate in any way, it doesn't have to be through the food bank march, because literally 100% of the donations go to buy food.
Yep.
They're not going for keeping the lights on at the food bank. They're not going for salaries.
Yep.
It is going to buy food. And usually, last year, because of federal and state support, if you donated $1, the food bank had the resources to leverage their connections to turn that $1 into 3 meals.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But because of the diminishment of support, they can only do it $1 for 2 meals at this point, which is very disheartening.
Yeah.
Because even if we raise the $650,000, that's about 1.2 million meals. Amazing, sounds great. That's 1 month of the meals the food bank provides.
Wow.
So it's a nice chunk,
of course,
for a 2-day long event to be able to make that happen. But it shows you how small a percentage it is of what the work the food bank is actually doing.
Yeah, and how many people they help and support. So that's wild when you look at it like that.
I think that's pretty much most of our questions. But I did want to ask, what are you kind of most excited for this year?
I am excited about the Berkshire Mini-March. Mm-hmm. I really love the Berkshires, and I've loved with this new show to kind of unlock the Berkshires. It feels like when you play a video game and you unlock a new portion of the map. Like I've really gotten to know Lennox a lot better, Great Barrington a lot better. I was really familiar with North Adams already, but Pittsfield a lot better. And my friend runs a brewery in Pittsfield, Hot Plate, and that's where we're going to start. And then we're going to do like a mile and a half one way and a mile and a half the other 3-mile long loop.
Nice.
And then come back to Hot Plate for a little mini celebration. So to me, that's something I'm really excited about. And I'm excited that I'm going to be able to wear a community-made Mr. Rogers sweater.
Yeah, that's the coolest part.
I mean, it really is like we've talked about me pushing the shopping cart. The shopping cart is empty and is an icon of what it means to be hungry, like an empty shopping cart.
Yeah.
That has become iconic as part of the march. And to me this year, the iconic element will be that Mr. Rogers sweater that so many people and animals have been a part of making, that are all right-based here in the community that the food bank serves. So
awesome. I think that's all our questions, unless there's anything else you wanted to add.
You guys coming?
We might. We'll have people there, I'm sure. I stopped by last year in Chicopee and Holyoke to take pictures as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah. If I don't remember who you are, because it is a whirlwind,
obviously,
please remind me.
I definitely will. We will. But I think that's all the questions we have. We thank you again for your time and good luck.
My pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. That wraps another episode of So That Reminds Me. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back again with another episode next week.
Thanks for listening to So That Reminds Me, produced by Western Massachusetts news source Reminder Publishing. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, find the latest news at thereminder.com, and follow Reminder Publishing on Instagram at Reminder Publishing, on X at The Reminder MA, and on Facebook. Reminder Publishing, we are hometown news.